Hello. Well, we've made it to episode 13, and this is the last one of this little section on the key concepts in the book Pillars of Success for Social Workers. Remember, it's not just about social workers. These pillars of success work for everybody. The book is aimed at social workers because some of the things in the next sections, in the sections where it's got all the tips in, it tells you about the tip, and then it gives you a practitioner focused application of the tip, and then a managerial focus application of the tip. So it kind of aligns at social work, but actually practitioner could be replaced with employee, and manager could be manager, because it would work just as well because the tips do. But I've focused it on social work, for it is my profession of choice. So anyway, we're on the last leg now, and I've kept this to last because this really is the cornerstone of my productivity strategy and the productivity strategy of many, many others. And it's a classic text. And it's the text, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. I haven't read a latest version of it. The original version of it is very much about paper-based systems. He talks about your BlackBerry, and getting emails on your BlackBerry is a very new thing. That's how things have moved on. And I don't know whether he's rewrote it for the modern contemporary world, but when he talks about it, he does. But it's David Allen's Getting Things Done methodology. And the bit of that, there's lots to it, but the bit of that I want to focus on, which to me is the game changer, is his concept of the trusted system. He talks about the trusted system, and he talks about it as an alternative. He talks about many things, but one of the criticisms when I talk about it is they'll say, well, is that not just a big to-do list? And well, yes and no, really. I suppose it is a to-do list, but it's an absolutely complete to-do list with everything on it that you will ever want to do, and some things that you might never want to do in what he calls the someday maybe list. So it is everything. So it is a to-do list of everything, a master to-do list. Because there are some problems with to-do lists as we traditionally make them. One of them is that we often make to-do lists when we're in crisis. So we're never really sure whether we've got everything on them or not. And we're already in crisis. That's why we're making the to-do list. So how structured, how useful that to-do list is. Because one of the problems is it lacks any sort of prioritization. You just randomly write down all the things that you need to do. Have you remembered everything, So without clear prioritization, you end up spending time maybe on low value tasks before another task you were meant to do pops into your head and go, oh damn, I really need to get that done. And we end up spending time on low value tasks rather than high value tasks, because rather than capturing everything in a trusted system and then analyzing it, we write a to-do list and then we just start because we're already overwhelmed by things. And that's the other thing. To-do lists, then you write it and you think, put the kettle on. I'm never going to get all that done today, so do you know what I mean? So we're never very sure it's all there. It's not prioritized. It's overwhelming. There's insufficient context to it, because some of those things on that list might be better done when you're at home, some when you're in the office, but it's just a list of everything, which the trusted system is, but the trusted system has then been organized, and I'll tell you how that works. And it doesn't flex. A trusted system flexes with you. The to-do list, you spend your time on the day you've made the to-do list trying to do everything that's on your to-do list. Then you move back to your normal way of working, and then you suddenly find the to-do list further down the line, and you find that you kind of haven't done most of the things on the to-do list. I remember reading some research quite a while back, and I can't remember the exact stat, but it was something ridiculous, like 40% of things on to-do lists never get done until you make the next to-do list. And then they stand a 50-50-ish chance of getting done when they're on that list as well. And the to-do list, it isn't focused on your long-term goals. You'll make the to-do list and you'll graft away on it without factoring in recovery and self-care. So we just encourage procrastination by having the to-do list, I think. And David Allen says this one key thing which fits here is you need to plan then do, because you can't plan and do at the same time. So it's no good. So it's no good trying to wrestle your to-do list into some sort of configuration while you're trying to do I'll do this one next. Oh, right now, what's the next priority? Or I'll do that next. What should I do next? You're planning and doing, you're switching between them, and it's not good. We need to spend time in planning, critically planning, and then we need to spend time in doing once we've done that. So we've got this concept of the trusted system, and genuinely, it's changed how I manage my work. It's changed how I manage my life in some ways, you know. And the concept is simple in principle, but very powerful in the practice of it. Your brain is for having ideas, not for storing them, not for holding them. Your trusted system is an external, reliable structure that holds all your tasks, commitments, ideas and plans, so your mind doesn't have to. Okay? Your mind is not very good at remembering things, and if you are trying to remember stuff, David Allen calls it, he says that if you're trying to remember stuff, you have an open loop going around in your head that you're constantly having to maintain, sapping your kind of psychological bandwidth. And we know we can't remember things very well. You, like me, will have gone to the supermarket to buy 3 things and come back with 4 things, but having missed out 2 of the things you were meant to buy that were on the original list of 3 things. Yeah, we've all done that. So the goal of having a trusted system is mental clarity and strategic focus. And we need that because we deal with huge volumes of input. Emails, phone calls, meeting notes, supervision notes, casework, stuff to write up, deadlines, training to go on, personal responsibilities. And without a system to capture all of that, we end up lying awake on a night remembering what we've forgot to do. Oh, 2 o'clock in the morning, I forgot to do that thing today. I'll have to remember to do that for tomorrow. Now you can't get sleep because you're trying to remember the thing. We make lists, we lose them. Where's my to-do list gone? I don't know. You write your to-do list every few days instead of just having a trusted system. And you waste time wondering what to do next because but your trusted system's got that for you. So how do you build a trusted system? Well, I'm not going to argue it's hard to start with, and I spent a lot of time and I did a lot of stuff on a weekend, I'm not going to lie, building my trusted system. The first off, and you need to do this every day. You get into a cycle of doing this every day, but it's quite quick on a daily basis because you don't capture that much on a daily basis. Certainly not as much as you're going to have to capture first time you do it. So you capture everything. First step, capture everything, get it out your head, capture everything that has your attention. Personal and professional if you want. That's what I did. But start with the professional if you want to do that. Collect together big sheets of paper or whatever, spreadsheet, however you want to do it. Collect all your tasks, your ideas, your appointments, client things you're doing, all the admin things you need to do. Collect it all together, brain dump it, get it out your head, so that it's not in your head anymore, because we need to get it out of our heads into our system, and then clarify what it actually is, and try and put it into kind of different kind of areas. Is it actionable? Is it actionable? And if it is, we're going to have to put it somewhere. We're going to have to put it into our calendar. If it's time and date specific, we're going to have to put it into our calendar on a particular time and date. If it's not time and date specific, but it needs to be done at some point because it's still important, then we need to put it somewhere else. Now, for me, I know I tell you how I do it. You need to develop your own ideas, but this really works for me. If it's time and date specific, like on Thursday at 2 o'clock, I need to deliver this lecture. Obviously, that goes in time and date slot. If it's just kind of I need to prepare a report for the meeting that's quite a way off, I think, well, I might do that next week. I'll put it in as an all-day event. Yeah. So if it's actionable, we have to put it somewhere. If it's not actionable, so if there's no action as a consequence of it, well, what is it? Is it something we really need? If it's not, then just get rid of it, you know. You might want to archive it. You might want to put it somewhere into part of your trusted system where you store things. So for me, if it's stuff that I want to watch or read that I found online, or a book that I want to consider buying, I put that in. I've got a task list. I use the task part of the Google package. So I use Google Calendar and I use Google Tasks, and in there I've just got lists of things that I want to watch or read or think about, because I've filed it somewhere for reference. I've archived it off. So if it's actionable, put it in your calendar, day and time slot. If it's a multi-step thing, break it down. What are the steps, and put all the steps into your calendar. And this stage is about being honest, I suppose, with unpacking kind of vague items, whatever that might be. Sort out my emails. I mean, this is one thing that we need to get on top of, and I've got a book about that. Sort out your emails. If all you've got is sort out my emails, well, that's problematic, isn't it? But if you've got go through my emails and delete or archive the old ones that don't need a response, flag the ones that need an urgent response immediately. Respond to them. Go on, dare you. So we can break it down into more steps. So then we've kind of moved into this already, because as you're doing this, clarifying what it is, you might start to be organizing things. So you're organizing things into this trusted system, time and task entries, daily tasks or task list things. If you want to just keep things that haven't got a particular time and date slot, if that's your bag, you could keep them on a task list. The key is then to put in your diary to check the task list every day to make sure nothing is becoming time and date sensitive. We've got to do that. So I put it all in my calendar, or I try to, apart from the tasks of things I want to watch and what have you. But things that need to be done for the job, things that if I don't do them, something's going to come off, the wheel's going to come off, something in the future, they go into the calendar. Few things to remember. Your inbox. And when I refer to your inbox here, what I don't mean is your email inbox. I mean your inbox is broader than that. Anything that's coming in think of it as in your inbox. David Allen talks about carrying with you a ubiquitous recording device, a notepad, something that you can take with you wherever you go, where you write everything in that comes into your sphere of responsibility, and you note it. And at the end of the day, the key is to get that inbox, in that broad sense, to empty, because you need to have dealt with those things and got them into your trusted system. Now, your inbox, broad speaking, does include your email inbox. That's a whole separate ball game, because I guarantee there's probably about 850 emails in your inbox. Each one of those emails is sapping your psychological energy, because you don't know what it is. Once it disappears off the bottom of the screen, you don't know what it is. You just know it's there. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So your inbox needs to be emptied, managed, dealt with on a daily basis. Categories might include next actions. Get them in your calendar. You might have some projects. I also keep a projects spreadsheet. I do one or two things actually. Sometimes if I've got a project that's got multiple steps, I put an entry into my calendar where I'm going to do that project, and I put all of the steps in the notes section. And when I finish that 2 hours on that project, I delete out of the notes. I cut and paste the notes into the 2 hour slot when I'm going to have a look at it next. Cut and paste those notes and then take out the steps that I've already done. So I'm building up progression, if you like. But sometimes it's just easier with a long-term project to keep it all somewhere and then keep booking time every time you do the thing. So that's one thing you can do. Waiting for. Some people have a waiting for category where they keep things. That's very useful. I know some people that do that with their emails. So getting your inbox to empty, and here I'm now talking about your email inbox, is not about doing everything that's come in there. It's about sorting it out. So some people I know have a waiting for folder. So they'll email somebody back and then stick it in their waiting for folder. Then every day or every other day there's something in their calendar that says check the waiting for folder, and they do that. So they're managing it. There's this thing, unmanaged incomplete tasks. So a task that isn't finished but we haven't managed it in some way has been shown to sap our psychological energy. But tasks that are unfinished, but we've managed them in some way, don't sap our psychological energy in the same way, don't drain us and don't kind of wear us out, so that's important. And then, then you've got this someday maybe idea, which I think is a great thing. Just stick things on there. Travel to France, write a novel, that kind of thing. And then then some sort of structured folder system on your laptop or whatever, with non-actionable items, documents you need, things that you're going to read, all that kind of thing. So where are we at? Let's just recap. So we've done the mind dump. We've captured everything. We've then clarified it. We've then organised it into our calendar, so really we made a massive to-do list. But we didn't leave it there. We did a massive to-do list and we went through it clinically and critically and got rid of things, and then we organised what was left. And then you have to reflect on it regularly. Reflect on it regularly, daily. Daily planning, weekly planning, maybe then monthly planning, maybe then annual planning. There are some things I can plan a year ahead. Marking assignments, for example, I already know when my assignments will be due in next year, so I've already booked out time to mark the assignments already, and I won't be marking them till January next year, but already done. And then you engage, do the right things at the right time. Some of the things to consider in your trusted system when you're working this out is context. Where are you going to be? How much time have you got available? Utilize those little spaces by breaking things down. What's your energy going to be like? Not all hours are created equal. Do your heavy lifting on a morning. Probably come to that soon. And what's your priority at any given time? And your priority should be the thing that's in your calendar to do. And the beauty is you're no longer guessing or reacting. You are executing strategically. That's what you're doing. And then you maintain it over time. Choose the tools, tweak it. I'm always tweaking my system. The thing that I've just described, where I keep things I want to watch or read in this task list, I only did that. I only built that up about a few months back, because I was just keeping them in as daily tasks, and I ended up on weekends having to move 6 or 7 daily tasks because I hadn't got round to watching that YouTube video or whatever, and I thought I need a different place to put these. So you will maintain and develop your trusted system over time, and then trust the system. But in order to trust the system, it has to be complete. So that's David Allen's trusted system. So it helps with all of those things that the to-do list doesn't, because it gives you a sense of prioritizing, because you are going to engage with it on a daily basis. Electronically is really good. Doing it electronically is really good because you'll shuffle things around as priorities shift and change. One of the things that social workers say to me all the time is like, well, I can't plan anything for a Monday morning because I don't know what's happened over the weekend. Well, and my response is, well, you do, don't you? You know that on a Monday morning you should plan first and foremost to deal with what's happened over the weekend. And if nothing's happened over the weekend, you've suddenly got the first 2-3 hours of Monday back. You can start dragging things in from Monday afternoon or later in the week. Go, right, let's do these things. So you reprioritize, so it gets over that. It gets over this sense of overwhelm, because suddenly you've got some insight into what there is to do and some control. Now, some people do say to me, I've tried this and it overwhelmed me because I realised how much there was to do. But the only person, I would argue, that can help you with having too much to do is probably your manager. And if you're not sure what it is you've got to do, they're going to look at you and go, well, I need you to tell me what it is you want my advice on in terms of prioritising. I need to know what it is you've got to do so that I can think about taking stuff off you or moving stuff somewhere else or telling you not to do this, that or the other. So it helps with that. By placing things into certain times of the day, by placing things onto lists that are longer term or shorter term, it gives context. And it's also, as I've just pointed out, a completely flexible system, because if it's electronic, you can move things around to your heart's content, So it discourages that procrastination, because if you spend some time in planning, you will engage with what's to do next, because you will know that that's the best thing for me to be doing right now. Whereas if you've got a to-do list, you're constantly second guessing yourself, I'd argue. So there you go. So it helps with mental clarity. It helps with accountability, I think, because you're tracking everything. You're tracking everything that needs to be done, so nothing gets forgotten. It helps with reflection, because you're thinking all the time about prioritizing what's to do, what job shall I do next? Oh, there's that thing to do that's important. Let's get that done today. Let's get that done now. And it builds this resilience, this practical resilience. So this, having this system based on this underlying structure, gives some kind of guidance as to what to do, these guiding principles on what to do. And remember, just finally, your mind is for having ideas, not storing them. And a trusted system is not just a to-do list. It has to be complete. It's an external brain. And once it's running, you will never go back. You'll just keep adding things in at appropriate points, shuffling things around, moving things about. You will never have to make another to-do list again, because you've got this trusted system. And I love it. And it's changed the way that I work over the years. So give it a go, I suppose. That's the best way to do it, isn't it? Give it a go, and see where it gets you. And I'll talk in the future about some of the ideas, the productivity tips, the actionable strategies that sit in the second half of the book. Take care. Speak to you very soon.